in these videos because I gotta be thankful for the little I can be thankful for. You know, what you're seeing here is an example of. First of all, I just want to start off by saying thank you, God. You know, this is something I say in these videos because I gotta be thankful for the little I can be thankful for. You know, what you're seeing here is an example of how easily it could have been to be involved in this thing. There's a lot of perps that the government contract. Those are the clowns. I call them just clowns, losers of all sorts. Not just losers in the sense that they haven't accomplished anything in life, but some of them, the more vocal ones, the more aggressive one, the more the ones that just more wants to be more visible in a sense, or at least want to make more of an appearance in regard of their participation, are perhaps the losers of a level that's just insane. I'm just thankful. And it's bad how they try to still paint themselves in a certain way. You know, as I was trying to make this video, they were trying to gaslight me, and I hear this loser of a perp, such a terrible, retarded, low life. I never, in my life, I just thank God, whatever this person is, as a nothing he is. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, God, that that's not the life that I ended up becoming. He is such a loserness of a human being, try to gaslight me still, but such a failure of it too. You know, a lot of these perps, they utilize their childishness as a way to counter the reality of what's happening here. And they try to vilify me. So what you're saying here, there's a few things. The biggest thing that you're seeing here is in the images up over there of my high school picture with some other girl that was like a grade lower than me, but actually I was supposed to be a grade higher. So I was like a junior at this point. I was supposed to be a senior, and this person was a senior. It was a sophomore. And then below you see the what I call the government LowLife Perps. Those are just nobody the government utilize, and they can make themselves. They participate in different ways. They're being vocal when you see them, and a lot of, for me, because I deal with V2K and synthetic telepathy, the things are remote, so you can hear them interact with you via voice to skull. Those are the worst in regard of like the childishness and the stupidity. It's not even childishness. It's like people who have felt brainwashing you. It's like the brainwashing didn't work, but they're still doing the brainwashing activity. So it's no longer brainwashing, it's just agitation. For example, as I was, the picture all the way there, you should see the picture where you see two white person walking. I was trying to show like what are the typical gaslighters, because what they're trying to do also is negate the reality of what's happening here. So they negators and try to disorient you and also try to brainwash you. The reason why they try to negate is because they want you to internalize this manipulation, at the same time vilify you. So what they do by negating is like, we're this group of this just feminist like individual, and they walk with this. It's so disgusting, the facade that's presented in a program that's doing so much diabolical things to women and children. You're going to hear that. And at the same time, they will try to disorient you, because if you don't see how diabolical they are, it's easier to make you internalize this manipulation. And what manipulation, as I made in many of my videos, they try to, in this program, they alter. If you're a target individual dealing with V2K and synthetic telepathy, you will deal with your thoughts being manipulated. It's so validated. It's not even so validated. It's such a mentioned symptom of being a target individual that some of the target individuals have caused mass shootings. Some of this target individual caused mass shooting, and before causing the mass shooting, mention the fact that their thoughts are being manipulated and altered. Okay, this in multiple times. One of the more like obvious one is the mass shooting, and I don't know if I should call it mass shooting or mass murder. Steve Marlowe pre-recorded a video saying, "I'm gonna kill these people who participate." And guess who they are? Next door neighbors. And he says, "Listen, this is a program that is mind controlling you, and they have the ability to alter your thoughts." And he's really calls out to T. I understand that I'm doing that to expose what's happening to you and know that your thoughts can be manipulated. Right? He says that, and then goes ahead and kills the next door neighbors, from a 15-year-old to an 82-year-old. Okay, that's the kind of validation we have, in the sense that others are saying the same thing. That's the level of how validation, the validation of others saying the same thing, and go as far as killing the next door neighbors. By the way, for me, the participation, a lot of it from next door neighbors, co-workers, or people that live around. At least you feel like it sounds like they live around here. It sounds familiar. And the thought manipulation always realize. For example, as I took the screenshot of these two white female over there walking, because those are supposed to be the gaslight or the negators. They're supposed to make it look like, yeah, we're just different, it's our money, and they walk with this like attitude, and it's supposed to be like a way to make me think that this is anything but a massive government that is doing this to men, women, and children. But they are this protective of children. If you look all the way above, there's some ads, and I was looking, and as I look up, I start getting stimulation, and all the way to the left, I see somebody. And if you don't zoom in, you're not 100% sure it's a kid, but the body looks definitely like a child. There's no womanly anything here. And then you zoom in, and he's like, clearly sees a child, and they were trying to mess with me. It's like, oh, trying to be like, oh, it's like they're just messing with me. Try to make me have this stimulation sensation when they see this little girl. They're like, oh, you think she's pretty? It's like, you're just making me have this sensation stimulation toward this little girl, like a 10, 12-year-old, maybe 13 max, maybe I would say 12. And they just try to mess with me, because initially I was like, I can't tell if it's a little girl from afar, but the body looks like a body of a child. The face, I need to zoom in. As I zoom in, it's obviously a kid. But then after that, they start making me have imaginations of disgusting level, thoughts of me being sexual with this kid. It's so nasty. The things that can make you experience and try to break you down. And they want you to accept this. And they're like, oh, everybody saw this manipulation. It's like, people are killing next door neighbors, writing manifesto, pre-recording their testimony saying, I'm being manipulated and I'm getting tired of this, and this is why I'm doing this. I want to expose what's happening to me. That's the level of validation. They can't even gaslight me to think, oh, people are watching this and seeing your thoughts. It's like, yeah, they thought of Steve Marlowe before he killed four neighbors. As I say, 4-year-old, they try to do something else, but you're gonna hear what they do to 4-year-old actually, because this trash, what they're part of. Not only they are here manipulating thought process, but they torture the youngest of the youngest. You're going to hear. And that goes back to what you're saying up there. Going back to vilifying me. Like I said, these people try to vilify me. It gets so bad. Sometimes it's just like, okay, in this specific example, you see a picture of me in high school, end of my high school year, and another girl from high school, and she was like a sophomore, and I was a junior, but I was supposed to be a senior, because what happened is I didn't go to school for a semester, and because of that I had to redo another year. So I was a junior who just turned 18 at this point. And they make me think of a dance hall, then there's a high school dance, um, where I danced with somebody who was a sophomore, and I was a junior, but a junior who was supposed to be a senior. And as we dance, things get a little sexual. Never had sex in high school, but let's just say, I don't want to be too much in details, but let's just say my hand was, like the typical high schooler. And they were trying to mess with me. It's like, yeah, no, you were dancing with her, and she was like 16, 17, and I think most likely 16. I don't know exactly her age, but I think she's most likely a 16-year-old, and I was 18 years old. And when we were dancing, your hand was. It's like, yeah, what's that? This is the Lego, and this, you retarded. These clowns wanted to bring me as a high schooler dancing with another high school kid. Like the typical thing that's happening in high school. I mean, there's literally freshmen, high school dating seniors. And I wasn't even dating. It was dancing with a little bit of, mind you, I was a virgin throughout my high school years. Now, these clowns have no shame. Like I said, you contract these clowns who think that they can vilify me. Still, like I said, it's like a failed brainwashing at this point. One, I accept that my brain is no longer mine. I'm being manipulated in these degrading ways. They're going to force me to have disgusting experiences, and this is what they're capable of doing with this technology. That's why people have lost their mind to the point of killing in masses, writing manifestos and killing in masses, killing next door neighbors as young as 15 years old, by the way. Not only once, but multiple times this has happened. And referring to their mind being manipulated in these degrading ways that they want to enter torment. So you have these clowns who not only try to vilify you, but want you to make you internalize this manipulation and try to scare you. Everybody's watching. This is what's happening to your brain. It's like, yeah, were they watching when this man ended up killing 12 people? Or the four neighbors that live next door? Okay. And so you want me to think I'm not being manipulated? Because what? Because you guys are different, and that goes back to this. They wanted me to look at them as like, oh, we're a different program. We're just mining. We're not mapping. No, you're manipulating the brain and doing these degrading things to me, and then try to vilify me, bringing up whatever you can to paint yourself as like the justice seekers. And that's where we're going to see here. This trash are involved in a program that's torturing 3-year-old toddlers. Women are being fried the shit away from them. They are getting destroyed. Sexual torture is commonly utilized, not only onto women, but onto children. Women are moving in their car, leaving their house, because they're getting tortured in their own home and decide to be homeless rather than die in their home. These trash are low-life retards that wanted to prove that they thought that they could prove like, oh, we're not. Now you prove that you do what you're part of. They wanted to make me subscribe to that, and they act this way. It's like, yeah, we'll prove that. It's like, I promise you, I swear to God, that will not allow this low life to live the fantasy. If they want to risk their life painting this facade that is no longer paintable, wishing that I will ever subscribe to this manipulation that pushed people to kill masses, 15-year-old killed, then I have to listen to some retard that's the next door neighbor or some clown around that's doing this noise campaign with this little noise campaign. That is a contracted clown, a professional retard. Dummy for pay. With such a failure of a gaslighting. Like, for me, it's just, you just agitate me. You know, if you face me, I will probably react in a non-happy way. So they use these losers who know that we are not gonna make you accept this manipulation, but we're gonna agitate you to the end. And as I was making this video, the ad over there with a child came up, and they tried to counter what I was going to try to make as a video here, because what they try to do is paint themselves as justice seekers and try to even vilify me in high school, dancing with another high schooler who is a grade below me, but me being missed a semester, had to go back as a junior instead of being a senior. So I was 18, and she was 16, or like, I don't think she was 17, but I'm just giving the average age of a sophomore. So 16 years old. 16. I don't think she was 17, but 16. And so dancing at the those high school dances, and as we're dancing, we get a little touchy and whatnot, and them try to use that against me. It's like, yeah, well, you ain't living allowed to do this. Yes, we're in high school together. This freshman dating seniors, sophomore dating seniors. Oh my gosh. So with me trying to play this game, it was like a bunch of idiots. But the truth is, they're just trying to distract me, because the horrible things they're part of is what you're gonna hear. The sexual tortures. And the word "for" came out. They wanted me to say "for," because there they wanted to bring up what I did when I was a younger child, like when I was a young child. Well, when I was a young teen in middle school, what a child is capable of doing at that age. And use that as like, yeah, "for." It's like, you're gonna listen to what they do to 4-year-old kids. Matter of fact, you're gonna listen to what they do to 3-year-old kids. You're gonna hear the horrible things they do as they try to vilify me, and then try to make me internalize these manipulations to counter this disgusting shit that they are. They're part of a program that is out here doing diabolical things to women and children. These people are just nobodies. They're the trash the government utilize, that they throw at us and try to gaslight you. Then they try to make you accepting of manipulation that have pushed people to kill in masses. With me, how they negate things is like, oh, it's a mass. Talk about the tumors they put in me, or whatever is going on. And they utilize these kind of people who, let me just say this, it's like an entitlement that they utilize. And they do everything possible to negate reality. For example, you're going to hear a child who was gasping for air because they can suffocate you just by like restraining your lungs. And so the woman who described what she was seeing, this 7-year-old autistic child going through, was saying, hey, I'm seeing this child is gasping for air, and that's them doing that to her, this autistic 7-year-old. To negate that, they start telling me, oh, we're gonna make you're gonna get raped, you're gonna be a bottom, and gonna be asped. Coming up with a word that will negate how they torture children as young as 7 years old with autism. Because guess what? They want to paint themselves as just justice seekers in this different portal. And the truth is, that is the way they are trying to brainwash me into not see them for what they are, and accept this manipulation that's degrading, that made people lose their mind to the point of killing 15-year-old. And forget these diabolical things they do to children, but think of them as protectors of children. And by the way, a lot of these participants, not just for me, are non-adults. Those clowns are sent to make this infantile, like minimize the evilness, right? They almost like want to infantile this whole situation. And these non-adults take the job very serious. They know it's like my job, and they're the first one to call themselves negators. We're the negators, and they're proud of it. What it means by negating is like we're gonna negate, cover up this evilness, these atrocious things that we do to children. And there were kids saying that. They gamify these horrible things and take pride of it. They're proud about it too. They want to be the best negators, the best at covering up this atrociousness. And they have different ways to try to negate things. For example, when you see this white female, when I bring up how they torture women and burn them, they love to say like, oh, I love it. Now, I know they don't love that. I know they torture women or children. They don't care. But they say things that would just... Because they think I'm saying that to make them feel bad about themselves. Like, I don't care what you feel about yourself. I just don't want you to think that I don't know what you're part of. I don't know. I don't want you to think that you just... Like, that you successfully made me think that this is anything but this massive government that's torturing women this way. You come near me, you know what you're going to be accountable for that. You're going to be accountable for what you're part of. There's not going to be any fantasy here. So when you come and gaslight me, understand what it means. Listen to the horrible things here as they try to gaslight me into letting them play the justice seekers, vilify me, and then try to make me internalize this nasty manipulation toward these kids whenever it is showing up, from ads to whatever else. I will never internalize any of this. I will not internalize the way they make me perceive these children and the way they vilify me when they are here torturing women and children. Never. This disgusting low life, deserving to be killed for what they're part of and still recreate reality in this fashion. Listen to this.
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, first floor, second floor, 2 garage, backyard, land, everything. Can't live in my house. My neighbors are shooting direct energy weapons through my house. I hold my heart like this. You know why? Because it hurts. I need help. I need you guys to come get me. Come get me. Oh, Lord, because I think I'm dying.
Okay. I think I can say the word simulated rape and forced orgasm.
You can say anything you want. This is the internet.
Okay. And so simulated orgasms and rape is extremely common, and especially violating for women. They complain about that torture breakdown the most.
What I'm feeling when I went to my doctor, the response was, how do I know you didn't do that to yourself? How do you even address that? I've passed 2 psychological evaluations, not 1 but 2. The one physician said, you're mentally sound as a bell. He said, I don't have any idea what's going on with you. When I go to sleep, when I go to try to sleep, I feel like I'm being lit up like a Christmas tree. I feel every cell in my body just bouncing out of my body. I can't even describe it. I get electric shock of my rectum.
Retired security administrator, Ms. McDavid's reputation was used to implement this non-consensual biotechnology application that is being used on me. I now experience involuntary limb movements. I receive stingings. I get pains to my head, to my abdomen, to my vaginal area, and to my anal area.
various body parts, specifically in a sexual way. The severe vibration is a highly noxious stimuli and is very intolerable. They sometimes do pulses or throbbing sensations on the genitals too, etc. There are also body movements such as rocking my pelvic area back and forth, repeated rubbing sensations, the sensation of something going up my crotch and in and out, etc. They also often force vaginal discharges and zap my genitals at the same time. These sexual assaults are present throughout the day, every day, and anytime I am awakened at night, every night. They range from mild to extreme, but usually involve daily and nightly continuous assaults for the past 3 years now. When severe, the zaps to the genitals feel as though someone is electrocuting my genitals repeatedly. I also experience what is referred to as malo anything electronic. They have even locked me out of my office building that uses an electronic key. It is often very difficult and an immense battle just to even sit on the toilet to go to the bathroom. Not only because of the bowel and bladder manipulation, but also because of the frequent severe sexual assaults on the genitals, my butt and anus, shaking, vibrating.
I'm called a targeted individual, but the abuse last night was pretty extreme. I can feel it's going to be the same again today. Already on the harming of the private parts of my body. Don't really know what to do. I tried to go to a doctor to get some kind of pain medicine because what actually happens to me, what is happening to me is my actual physical body is being burned. And so it causes me to go into shock and it's excruciatingly painful. And I have my limitations on the duration and length of pain that I can handle. So it was a couple of weeks ago, I asked him what he was doing there, and he said that I needed to stay in my room. And I asked why, and he said that essentially they wanted to keep an eye on me for a while. And I was like, okay, for how long? And he was like, well, we haven't decided that yet. And I was like, all right, well, I'm leaving. But it definitely felt like if I talk about what's happening to me, that I'm being retaliated against. And I know the logical mind is like, well, everyone can't be involved. But it seems that, I don't know, if the government has the right to watch and the proper paperwork, just walk right in and take over a hospital. And it seems that that is a very real reality in a lot of capacities of the things that I've faced. So today just kind of just feeling some pretty general fear about my own safety, because the government's burning the private parts of my body. Noon yet here, and all of that today, this morning, like not even noon yet here, and already I'm experiencing the pain and the harm to my body, to the private parts of my body.
Hard because there are women that not necessarily have implants in their like genital area, and they've experienced rapes, what are like they describe them as a rape, and I'm not going to go into the details of it, but it's very, very painful, and it's done remotely. It's no touch torture. So when they tell a doctor, they have to be able to go to a doctor and say this is real, and doctors physically.
Today I'm actually dealing with something that's like it's different than the burning the private parts of my body. It feels like somebody is trying to literally like cut the inside of my body, of my vagina, and I'm bleeding, and